Welcome back to another breakdown video that we have for the beginning after the end manhwa. Today we're doing chapter 241, Mission at Risk, and this one definitely feels like a calm before the storm type of chapter. After the build-up in 239 and 240, that title alone has us on edge, but getting into the chapter, you see that it's not just straight up carnage, and we get a heavy dose of emotion, reunions, and the classic the beginning after the end character writing that makes you care way too much. Moving on to the pacing and structure of the chapter, I think the pacing here is deliberate and emotional, not the breakneck action we sometimes get. It opens with setup and tension around the mission. You kind of feel the weight of what's at stake. Then it quickly shifts into these beautiful, slower character moments, especially in the reunion scenes that let everybody kind of breathe. The structure seems to be the same in most of these chapters when it comes to the beginning after the end. Quiet, heartfelt beats building into rising stakes. It ends on a note that screams, next chapter is going to be crazy, which is perfect for weekly readers, just like myself. So with the pacing, that ends up being a purposeful slowdown before the inevitable explosion, it seems. Whoever's working on the art, if it's multiple people, if it's just one person, they're doing a really good job. Obviously, there's not a lot of fight scenes that we see to really accentuate that, but still looking pretty good. The panels feel more detailed and expressive, especially in the emotional beats. Overall, the structure, I think, it goes into this setup, emotional payoff, and then a tension spike. So with that being said, solid 8 out of 10, or solid 8.5 out of 10, pacing and structure for the pre-battle chapter. Moving into our character components of the section of the video. For this, I think the chapter has some gold character moments. We'll start out with the 3 points that we have. Number 1 being Tessia steps up big time. She's not just the love interest here. She's showing up ready, carrying that elf princess energy, but with maturity and resolve. Her presence before the battle feels meaningful. Moving on to point number 2, we have Sylvie getting some of the best panels that she's had in recent memory. The reunion with Tessia that we have, even though she hasn't seen Sylvie in her human form, very cute, very emotional, and perfectly drawn, I think. Reminds us why Sylvie is such a beloved part of the cast. She bridges the human and dragon side pretty well, especially having more of a familial like bond with Arthur. Going into the last point for character components, we have Arthur is in full protective king mode, but softened by the people he loves. We also see that he ends up denying 2 people that were stationed to come with him just because he doesn't want them to be in any more trouble than they would be, thinking that they would be better at the wall. The way he gives Tessia his full attention when she needs it shows growth, I think. He's learning to balance the mission with people who matter. You can definitely feel the weight of his past lives and current responsibilities hitting him, but also kind of lifting up and becoming a little bit lighter. The interactions that we see highlight trust, old bonds, and the personal stakes everyone has in this mission. It's not just about power levels anymore, it's about why we're fighting. Moving on to the next section, story progression and lore components of the chapter, story-wise. We're firmly in the build-up to the big clash phase of most of these arcs. The mission is explicitly put at risk, whether through external threats, timing issues, or internal complications. The chapter makes it clear things aren't going as smoothly as planned. This directly continues the impeding storm and plan of action threads, and then now mission at risk. Lore-wise, we don't get massive world-shaking revelations, but we do get reinforcement of character bonds and emotional stakes. No new Ajara bombs or ancient secrets at this time. The Sylvie Tessia reunion subtly reminds us of the deeper connections across species and the personal history between the cast, as well as not just species between human and dragon or elf and dragon, but interchangeably between ever since the alliance came to be. Tessia's involvement hits at a bigger role for the Decathlon side, elves especially, moving forward. It's more about personal lore and relationship development than cosmic revelations, which fits perfectly before a major battle. The mission at risk element plants seeds for future complications, betrayal potentially, enemy movement, resource issues, potential friends being hurt. Seeing Tessia so early before a major scene doesn't really bode well for what I would be thinking may be some type of foreshadowing. Now moving on to my final thoughts of the chapter. For chapter 241 here, definitely a great setup chapter. It might not have the insane fights that some people crave every week, but it definitely delivers exactly what the beginning after the end does best, which is making you feel for these characters right before everything goes to hell. The Sylvie Tessia reunion alone is definitely worth the read. Very wholesome, very emotional, and beautifully illustrated. Very long time coming, especially with seeing Sylvie's human form revealed, wondering what Tessia would think once that happens, and the subsequent chapters after. Obviously, until this one, where it looks like didn't really. It was a good reunion, and it was very adorable, but it seems like it didn't really surprise her. She was able to suss it out pretty well. Arthur giving Tessia his attention feels like a payoff for longtime fans of the relationship or the shipping that has been there, so that's pretty good for those people. The Mission at Risk title for the chapter is definitely doing a lot of heavy lifting. It leaves us anxious and hyped for what's to come next. So if the next chapter delivers on the battle or the fallout, this one will look even better in hindsight, I think. The art is definitely improving. The emotions are high, stakes are rising. Definitely a solid chapter that reminds us why we love this series, at least that is for me. So what does everybody think going forward? Was the reunion everything people had hoped for? It was for me. Are we ready for the storm? If you have any thoughts, drop them down below whenever you have the opportunity, if you can. With that being said, if you have any answers to those questions, drop them down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next beginning after the end video. All right, see ya.